Okay, this question isn't comparable to any of the back of the book problems, but it's a good one for test skills. So it's asking which of the following pairs of elements are likely to form an ionic compound. If you see a question like this on a test, the first thing I would do is I would write down what an ionic compound is. And you have learned that an ionic compound is a metal bonded with a nonmetal. So metal plus nonmetal. So here we have all of our metals. And then over here we have all of our nonmetals. So the first thing that I would do is I would look at anything that has two nonmetals in it, or something that has no metal in it. So for example, helium is a gas and oxygen is a nonmetal. So we know this isn't ionic, and I'm just going to cross it off. I'm not even going to try to think about it. Then we have chlorine and bromine, which are both nonmetals. So here's chlorine, here's bromine. So those are two nonmetals. We know we're looking for a metal and a nonmetal. Okay, so now we have sodium and potassium. Here's sodium and here's potassium. Well, that's a metal and a metal. So that's not what we're looking for. Now we have magnesium and chlorine. Okay, so there's magnesium, metal. Here's chlorine, nonmetal. So this one I would maybe put a question mark to. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be an ionic, but let's look at the other ones. Okay, so actually let's just go ahead and circle it because the other ones have them. So we know this is for sure ionic because it's a metal and a nonmetal. And then we have potassium, which is here, and sulfur, which is here. So that's a metal and a nonmetal. So we know that is ionic. And then lastly, we have nitrogen and iodine, which is nitrogen and iodine. So we have two nonmetals, so we can cross that off. On a test, you wouldn't get two answers like we have here, but it's a good skill to have if you want to just write down what you know it is you're looking for. I knew I was looking for a metal and a nonmetal, and so I crossed off anything that didn't fit that criteria. And that makes it a lot easier to find the correct answer.